Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We have a story today. This one says story time of how my dad being arrested and exposed for decades of affairs. Ooh, okay, let's get right into it.
My dad, who was a police officer for 30 years,
Wait,
my
let's
dad, who
start
was a
from
police
beginning.
officer for 30 years, got arrested and exposed for cheating on my mom for over a decade.
Wow.
In case anyone is curious why I'm doing this now, over a year later, for one, I've just been kind of down in the dumps and depressed, and sometimes it's better to like talk through those things and like explain the story and kind of hash it out in my own brain. And number two, I feel like a lot of people might be curious as to what the days looked like leading up to that, what exactly happened, and a lot of people are just too shy to ask me. Context, I was living at home with my mom, my dad, my little sister, my daughter, myself, and our animals. We lived 45 minutes away from where my dad worked and kind of where our social lives, our school activities, and things like that happened. The days leading up to my dad's arrest, my mom, my dad, and my little sister had just gotten back from a trip out of town. The day that he got arrested, he was already assigned to work and they had called him in early for like a meeting or something of the sort, and it was really nothing too out of the ordinary. Nobody really thought.
I don't know. I've always wondered how police officers being arrested, like what happens, what usually leads up to that. Do they detain them for long, or is it their co-workers that the colleagues that arrest them? How is the life after they are released from prison? Do they get angry that why did you arrest me? Have you ever thought about it? I think about it often.
Much of it. The last time I saw my dad, I was actually in the kitchen holding my daughter and doing dishes, and my dad just came in to kiss us on the forehead and say goodbye, and I said, I love you, be safe. And yeah, that's the last time I saw my dad, over a year ago. Flash forward a few hours into that day, I had plans to meet a friend 45 minutes where we lived, and where my dad worked, to meet at the park, and we were just going to do a little picnic with our babies and hang out and chit chat. As we get to the park, we're settling in. My best friend had texted the friend and said, hey, be there for Riley, she's about to get some really, really bad news. And then my best friend had also texted my boyfriend and told him to start heading my direction. 2 to 5 minutes later, I get a call from my mom. My mom's distraught, and I'm thinking she's going to tell me that our family dog had passed away or something, because he was getting old, so it would have made sense. My dad being arrested was not even in the realm of possibilities in my head. But of course she tells me that my dad's been arrested. I'm not going to say what the crime is because I don't want this video to get taken down. Next thing I know, I go online and I look up my dad's name and I see his mugshot and the crime all over the news outlets and whatnot. Next shot, I also see my family's name, my mom's name, my brother's name, so on and so on. I screenshot the news outlet article, and I FaceTime my brother, and as I'm FaceTiming him, I send him the screenshot, and we're both like, oh shit, what? About 15 to 20 minutes later, probably, my boyfriend arrives at the park. He ends up driving me and my daughter over to his house. I was in no state to be driving, especially not driving my daughter. My best friend ended up meeting us at my boyfriend's house, and were helping me realize and process everything that was going on. I was really, really angry and just so heartbroken and sad and all of the emotions. At some point, my boyfriend decides to drive me home. Around 8 or 9 o'clock, I end up getting my daughter to sleep, and I end up falling asleep as well. And sometime between the two of us falling asleep and about midnight, my window faced the front of the house where the street was, so I woke up to police cars, about 4 of them, shining their light outside my window. My mom woke me up as well and told me that the police department was there to serve a search warrant on our house and collect electronic devices and any paperwork and whatnot that they could use in the case. I wrapped my daughter in a blanket and we step outside, and I also had texted my boyfriend and said that they're serving a search warrant, and I guess that's not allowed, so the police officers took my phone for the duration of the warrant being served, or like the search happening. I just sat outside for about an hour and a half rocking my
Guys, what do you think must have been the crime the man committed if they had to get warrant to come search his house, knowing the fact that he was also a police officer? That must be something serious.
my 10-month-old baby in my arms, just completely disassociated. That got done probably around 1 a.m., 1:30 in the morning roughly. The following morning, I woke up and kind of realized that this wasn't some horrible nightmare, but that this was my real life. It was basically a wake up and put on our survival mode, assess the situation. We were able to find out that my dad was on a paid administrative leave, which that is just standard protocol for a situation like this. And honestly, thank God, because my mom was a stay-at-home mom for 30 years, so that was the only income we had to keep food on our plate, a roof over our head, and lights on.
There's something I want to understand. When the people in the West say somebody is a stay-at-home mom, does that mean that person is not doing anything to bring in income? Like nothing. I think our version of stay-at-home mom here in my country is different. It's hard to see any mother that's not doing anything. They're in the house, but they're doing something. They will have a kiosk or some. They're actually doing something, even though they're stay. I think the stay-at-home version is different from what we have here. That's how I guess.
A lot of people were really unhappy about this, and they were commenting on my mom's Facebook, commenting on any social media platform. There's actually several people I knew who partook and liked these comments, saying stuff along the lines of, if he didn't care about his family, why should we? But people don't realize that we were just as much victims as well, because we had no idea any of this was happening. Our life got turned upside down. Days after his arrest were spent realizing that my dad had cheated on my mom for over a decade with several different women, bringing them to our house.
Well, I don't know the crime he committed. Since she doesn't want to say it, so that TikTok will not take this video, then that means it's something serious. So if he has the mind to do that kind of crime, then cheating will be nothing. That's in my own opinion. Because somebody that can cheat on the person they claim to love, that person can do anything. We don't always view it in that light, but that's the way I see it. If you have the mind to cheat on your partner, then you can do something else.
The days that he said he was going to work early or staying late, he was really cheating on my mom. I had to go pick up his vehicle from the police department, pick up his belongings from his desk, and realizing that there's things like coconut oil at his desk so he can go do his co-curricular activities. At some point, my mom decided that she wanted to move and that she needed a fresh start in a different state. Began packing up the house and going through photos and wedding memorabilia, father-daughter dance photos of he and I, and family photos, just all the stuff that really adds salt to a wound at that point in time. About a week into packing for my mom to move, I got the news that one of my best friends had passed away suddenly. It was literally the 2 weeks from hell. After that was my daughter's first birthday, and then almost immediately after that, my mom moved to a different state. So, yeah, it was crazy. As for my dad, there isn't really much of an update on him. He's still incarcerated in jail. He has not had a trial or anything yet. Hasn't been proven or found guilty or innocent. He's just kind of floating somewhere in the middle there, waiting for his trial. I don't really know how the legal system and all of that works. As for me, I go through different stages of anger and sadness and happiness, and I'm fine, and then I'm not fine, but I'm going to therapy, and I'm healing and processing the best I can, and I'm just trying to come out a better person than I was before this started. A better mom, a better human being. So, that's where we're at. Story.
Wow, guys, I'm just imagining what it must have been for them, for the wife, for 30 years. I'm sure she must have been there thinking, oh, she had the perfect marriage. She's been married to her sweetheart for 30 years. Hey! Like my people will say, men will stain your white. Hey! I want to go through the comments. Maybe I will get an inkling of what the crime was about. This person sent me dispatcher and this sounded so familiar. And then I looked at your username. I've kept up with your mom on Facebook. I'm so happy to see you are finding your groove again. Oh, thank. Somebody said my dad is a retired cop. He cheated on my mom and led a double life. Had a full-on home with the other woman for years. My mom gets half of his pension for the rest of his life. Ooh, that's a good one. Good one. There's nobody mentioning it. There's nobody. Oh, God, there's no. I guess we'll never know. But I'm getting a suspicion, or maybe it has to do with. Hmm. But my heart goes out to this family, and I'm happy she's in therapy and getting her groove back. Like somebody said, what do you say to people like this? I would never know what to say to people in this kind of situation. Ah, may we not choose the wrong people to do life with. Guys, see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye. Let me show you guys this handcrafted tie and dye shirts. It's so lovely. It's one of my favorite thing. Let me show you another. So this comes in blue and white.